Are you thinking about buying a home in Livermore, California? Maybe you've seen the cute downtown, heard about the great things about the schools, visited the amazing wineries, and now you're wondering, can I really afford to live here? If that's you, don't worry, you're not alone. Livermore is a beautiful place. It has lots to offer, but here's the honest truth. Homes here are expensive, really expensive, and many first-time buyers get sticker shock when they realize how high the actual prices are. A lot of people start searching online and fall in love with a home only to find out later that it's way out of their budget. That's frustrating, and that's why I've made this video. I want to help you understand what it really costs to buy a home in Livermore. I'll show you what the numbers really might look like, what you need to plan for, and how to avoid big mistakes that could cost you time, money, and stress. Whether you're just starting to think about buying or you're ready to jump in, this video will help get clear on the most important question: how much house can I actually afford in Livermore? Grab a notepad and let's break it down step by step. All right, here we go. Let's start with something really important: the real cost of buying a home in Livermore. Right now, the average price for a single family home in Livermore is right around $1.3 million. Yep, you heard that right, $1.3 million. That number might sound huge, and honestly, it is. Buying a home in Livermore is a big investment, but it's also a smart one if you're prepared. So let's break down the numbers. If you were to buy a $1.3 million home and you had a 20% down payment, you would be putting $260,000 down up front. That means you'd still have a loan of $1,040,000. That's the part you need to finance through a mortgage. Now, let's talk about your monthly payment. A mortgage payment isn't just about paying back the loan. You also have to include property taxes, which are about 1.25% per year. That's about $16,000 a year or $1,300 a month in taxes. There's homeowners insurance, which can be around $150 to $250 a month depending on the home. And if the home is in a neighborhood with homeowners association or HOA fees, that could be an additional $100 to $300 a month. When you add all of this together, your loan, your taxes, your insurance, and HOA fees, you're looking at a total monthly payment around $8,000 to $9,000 per month. I know that's a big number, but it is not impossible. A lot of people are doing it. The key is having a plan. That means knowing your numbers ahead of time, how much you can afford, what kind of down payment you need, and what your monthly budget will actually look like. You might also want to look at different loan options. For example, you may want to put less than 20% down and pay what is known as mortgage insurance. Or maybe you qualify for a special loan program that helps first-time buyers. The important thing is to not guess. Get pre-approved. Talk with someone that can run the numbers with you. That way you're not surprised later on, and you can shop for a home that truly fits your budget. Buying in Livermore is a big decision, but with the right plan, it's absolutely possible. Ready to see how much home you actually can afford? Let's keep going. Now that we've talked about how much homes cost in Livermore, let's figure out what you can actually afford. This is where a lot of people get confused, so let's keep it simple. We're talking about affordability. We're not just talking about how much the house costs overall. We're really talking about your monthly payment, because at the end of the day, that's what matters. Can you comfortably make the payment every month? Here's how to figure that out. Start by looking at your income. Let's say you and your partner make around $200,000 a year combined. That's about $16,600 a month before taxes. A good rule of thumb is to spend no more than 30 to 45% of your monthly income on your total housing expenses. So in this case, that would mean spending around $5,800 to $6,600 a month. That would be for your mortgage, taxes, insurance, and everything else. But remember what I said earlier, a typical home in Livermore might cost $8,000 to $9,000 a month if you put 20% down. So that's a pretty big jump, right? So what can you do? This is where you really need to look at your full financial picture. That includes how much money you make, how much debt you have, like car loans, student loans, or credit cards, how much money you've saved for a down payment, and how much of a monthly payment you feel comfortable with. That's why getting pre-approved is so important. When you get pre-approved, we'll actually review your income, your credit, and your savings. Then we'll give you a clear number, what you can actually afford, and what your monthly payment will look like. This isn't a guess, it's a plan. It also helps you make smarter choices when you're out house hunting. You won't waste time looking at homes outside your budget. And when you find a home that you love, you'll be ready to make an offer fast because you already know what's possible. And guess what? Sellers love buyers who are already pre-approved. It tells them you're serious and ready to go. Now, Here's the best part. If your numbers don't work for $1.3 million right now, that's okay. You can start smaller. There are condos and townhomes in Livermore that start in the $700,000 to $800,000 range, or you might qualify for a lower down payment loan, which could help you buy sooner. The most important thing is to be honest with yourself. Get the right information and make a plan that fits for your life and your goals. Buying in Livermore might feel out of reach, but with the right steps, it could be closer than you think. Let's keep going. Now that we've talked about how much homes cost in Livermore, let's figure out what you can actually afford. This is the part a lot of people skip, but it's super important. Here's the deal. Just because a home costs $1.3 million doesn't mean you need to buy a home that expensive. What really matters is your monthly budget. Start by looking at how much money you bring in each month. Then subtract all your bills like car payments, credit cards, student loans, groceries, gas, and fun stuff. What's left over, that number is what you might be able to spend on housing. Like I said before, a lot of lenders say you shouldn't spend more than 35 to 45% of your monthly income on your total house payment. That includes, like I said, your mortgage, taxes, insurance, everything. For example, let's say you make $12,000 a month before taxes. That means your house payment should probably stay between $5,000 to $5,400 a month. And if that's your budget, you might need to look at homes that cost less than $1.3 million or be ready to make a bigger down payment. Here's the good news. This isn't something you have to figure out on your own. That's where a mortgage expert like me comes in. I can run all the numbers for you. We'll look at your income, your debt, your credit score, how much you want to put down. Then I'll show you what your monthly payment might look like and how much you can spend on a home comfortably. Even better, let me help you get pre-approved. That means the lender has already looked at your full financial picture and they say, yes, you're approved up to this amount. Pre-approval is super powerful. It shows sellers you're serious and it makes the offer way more competitive. So if you're wondering, can I afford living in Livermore? The best step is finding out what your numbers really look like. And I am happy to help with that. Now let's talk about what you can do to get ready to buy a home in Livermore. Step 1, get pre-approved for a mortgage, not just pre-qualified. What's the difference, you ask? Pre-qualification is when you tell a lender about your income and they give you a guess on what you might afford. But pre-approval is much better. That's when the lender actually checks your credit. They look at your income, your savings, and your debt. Everything. Then they tell you exactly how much you can buy. Getting pre-approved is powerful. It helps you know your real budget. It also shows sellers you're serious, and that makes your offer stronger. Step 2, know all the costs. When you buy a house, it's not just the down payment. You also need to plan for closing costs. That's usually 2 to 5% of the price of the property. There's property taxes, about 1.25% of the home's value each year. Homeowner's insurance, possibly HOA fees, ongoing home maintenance and repairs. All these things add up, and it's important to include them in your budget from the very beginning. Step number 3, work with a local real estate agent. This is super important. Livermore has its own unique market, and working with a real estate agent who knows the area can make a big difference. They know the neighborhoods, the pricing trends, and what makes a strong offer. They can guide you through the process step by step. Step number 4, start saving now. If you're not ready to buy yet, that's okay. Start saving. Build up your down payment. Work on your credit score. The more prepared you are, the easier it will be when the right house comes along. Step number 5, have a plan. Think about what kind of home you really want. How many bedrooms? Do you want to be close to downtown? Are schools important? Know what matters most will help you focus and save time when you start searching. Buying a home in Livermore might feel like a big goal, but if you take these steps, you'll be ready, and I'll be here to help guide you through it all. Let's bust a big myth right now. A lot of people think you need 20% down to buy a house. That's just not true. Yes, 20% down can help you avoid mortgage insurance, and your monthly payment will be lower, but many buyers, especially first-time buyers, don't have that much saved up. And guess what? That's totally okay. There are loan programs that let you buy a home with as little as 3% down. Some programs even help with closing costs or offer down payment assistance if you qualify. And remember, putting less down doesn't mean you're making a bad decision. It just means you're using smart tools to get into a home sooner while prices are still climbing. So don't let that 20% number scare you away. If Livermore is where you want to be, let's look at the options that make it possible. If you're curious about how much you need and what your monthly payment might look like, just reach out. I'd be happy to run the numbers for you. All right, let's do a quick recap. Homes in Livermore are beautiful, but they're not cheap. A typical home costs around $1.3 million and your monthly payment could be $8,000 or more. You don't need 20% down to buy a home. There are programs with lower down payments. Getting pre-approved helps you know exactly what you can afford and makes you stand out when it's time to make an offer. So here's what you can do next. Call or text me today. I'll help you figure out your numbers, explain your loan options, and show you how to make your Livermore dream home possible. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and tap the bell so you don't miss my next video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.